They created a very short and not too sweet stint for the offense. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
They come out here in the eye. Here's a give to Miller. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be third down. After this, we remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided, too.
I think you're right, partner. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. With it is Brown. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a...
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
10 yards on the pick.
But he also expects it. This is how their offense runs best. When those two get together, especially early, and continue to do it throughout the game, the end result is the one that we're seeing right now. They're ahead on the board.
It has been early and often. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
And that is incomplete.
On 3rd and 1, I think everyone in the stadium thought they'd try and run the football there, but they tried to surprise the defense and hit something through the air. Instead, it results in an incompletion.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Boswell's kick is good. And they're well on their way.
That was the old bend but don't break approach, but it kept the offense out of the end zone.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on him a little bit.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On 1st and 10, it's Osweiler. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On 2nd down, Osweiler. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
The Steelers insert their nickel defense on 3rd down.
Yeah, they add a DB. From the shotgun, Osweiler. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
3rd down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And this will be taken at the 13. Spinning past him. It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48, and a return of 8. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. Final play of the half, it's Roethlisberger. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And pump the brakes, Larry. Pump the brakes. We are ready for quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the 2nd half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the...
And that's caught inside the 30. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Sammy Coates, 74 yards. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record 6th touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes, someone delivering it accurately, offensive line giving him time to throw the ball. A true team record, but he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this 3rd quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
He finds his target, Fuller. Will Fuller, nobody there to stop him. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Throwing now, Osweiler on 1st down. Surveying the field. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. James Harrison, the outside linebacker, drops him for a loss of 6. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jalen Strong, the intended receiver. And that takes us from second to third down.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, balls out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
From the gun, it's Osweiler. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Stephon Tuitt in there to record another sack. Their 6th of the afternoon. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end's going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand bodies are there, and sometimes they just overthink it and don't catch the ball.
An extra defensive back on the field.